Okay, so good morning, class, and welcome to your Sustainability and Strategic Audit class. So today, we'll cover sustainability practices of selected public companies in the Philippines. So, what are our learning objectives? So, at the end of this session, we should be able to understand the current status of sustainability reporting in the Philippines, identify the companies, particularly publicly listed companies, which have best sustainability practices, familiarize with the nature and details of sustainability reports of selected PLCs, and appreciate the need of sustainability reporting in the Philippine setting. Okay, so going green. So let's talk about first 8 companies paying it forward with environmental commitments in the Philippines. So basically, class today, we'll talk about the different publicly listed companies in the Philippines who have embraced the sustainability reporting, no? Kasi nga, 'di ba, uh, at the end of the course, what I wanted you to do is to evaluate one PLC, no? So based on our previous sessions, especially on the different GRIs that we have covered, we now have to evaluate your PLC of your choice, whether they have been fully embracing, no, sustainability reporting in the Philippines, especially when the SEC issued the memorandum that basically uh, gave gave rise to a mandatory sustainability reporting. Okay, so let's do this. So GCash, no, so I'm sure you're all very familiar with the GCash, no? So GCash's GForest, no? So Philippines top mobile wallet GCash started charity program named GCash Forest, no? Kung familiar kayo class, no? So whenever you use GCash, no, in any form of transactions, so like for example, you transfer money from your GCash account to another GCash account or GCash to another bank account, meron kang na-earn points, no? And then yung GCash Forest na yun, it's linked to another it's linked to another activity, no? It's called the tree planting program. So it intends to encourage environmentally friendly lifestyle with 365,000 trees planned to be planted in the first year after its inception. So GCash users must gather green energy points by doing everyday activities that lower their carbon footprint in order to plant trees through GCash Forest. Now, instead of taking a jeepney to the bank to pay for utility bills, a user can use GCash app's bills payment option to save time, energy, and reduce his carbon footprint. No? So this is very true, no? Especially during pandemic class. At that time, wala pa talagang charges si GCash, no? So all of our transactions can easily be done, no, by the use of this GCash app. Kaya nga resulting to saving time, energy, and reducing carbon footprint. Kasi nga naman, instead of you going out to pay your bills, you can easily do that using the GCash bills payment. Okay, Shell Philippines. Filipino Shells devoted to environmental protection and neighborly respect. The firm's commitment to sustainability is clear in its Taguig headquarters, which receive an LEED or LEED Silver rating in the interior design and construction, no, so commercial interiors category. Filipino Shell's recent steps in its push forward toward a low carbon future include LEED certification and support for the TCFD recommendations. Shell's business operations in Manila in collaboration with AREIT Incorporated is using 100% green tech energy to power its offices. Solar panels and rain catchers are also being included in the architecture of various mobility sites across the country. Ito class, no? So just to share with you, um, parang few weeks ago, we went to house hunting, no? So we went to different developments here in Cavite. Isa sa mga nakita naming um, parang low-cost housing, itong Loria, no? So just try to Google it later. No? Ang maganda dun sa Loria, while the unit itself is just good for siguro yung starting family pa lang, no? Um, pero maganda dun class, naka-solar panels na sila. Tapos they also have two tanks uh, to catch yung mga water uh, rainwaters, no, so that you can recycle it, no. And among all the other developers or developments in Cavite, sila lang yung nakita namin that actually use those type of um, parang amenities na rin, eh, no? Or part of their housing, no? Yung mga solar panels. So it's also true with Shell Philippines, no? So according to this article, their offices are now being uh, equipped with this type of solar panels and rain catchers. So next we have Jollibee. So everyone's favorite Red Bee is giving folks even more reasons to smile as it transitions to a more environmentally friendly method of delivering everyone's favorite meals. So Jollibee is leading the way environmentally aware delivery by partnering with ECOS Environmental Foundation, which aims to create ecologically sustainable development, and working with Department of Transportation. So corporations launching its first fleet of e-bikes. So ito cost class, no? This is very true, especially here in Metro Manila na lang, no? And nearby provinces, no? Um, we used to employ the services at mga delivery apps, no? So Jollibee, in a way, they found a solution, no, by partnering with another entity. So itong entity na ECOS Environmental Foundation, basically they are now using electronic bikes, no? So imagine if um, we're no longer using yung traditional motorcycles to deliver their products, then uh, it it will surely reduce, no, yung carbon footprint and environmental impact. Next, we have Meralco. No? So as you know, Meralco is owned by Lopez. Meralco, the country's largest electric distribution provider, anticipates the improved air quality will provide a safer and better working environment. So Meralco had recently finished the first phase of its air quality monitoring project weeks before the entire island of Luzon went under lockdown in March 2020. It put sensors at the Lopez Building's lobby and just outside its door near the flagpole with the help of its subsidiary MServe. Temperature and humidity, as well as the amount of particulate matter and chemicals in the air, are all measured by the sensors. So employees and visitors can observe real-time figures on a giant TV screen in the Lopez Building lobby. Meralco's Powering the Good Life environmental programs, which were established in 2019, aim to monitor and reduce carbon emission. The power distribution company expect that by continuing in this path, it would be able to provide a safer and better working environment for its customer. Okay, again, class, no? So this is just one way of um, Meralco, no, to ensure that it helps in reducing the carbon footprint, no? So meron pa sila there are still different other ways that Meralco employ, no? Ito na lang yung for example, um, yung mga ginagawa nilang measure, no? So yung especially in their advertisements, no? So on how to conserve energies, no? So let me just check this at Okay, so as I was saying, Meralco, yun nga, yung by advertising, no, how to conserve energies. Oops, yun na. They're actually contributing to making sure that we reduce, no, yung carbon footprint. Kaya nga 'di ba, they're also is also tying up with different uh, appliance manufacturer, no? Kasi kung papansin mo, halimbawa bumili ka ng refrigerator na lang sa mall, may makikita ka na doon mga slip nakakadikit doon ah, sa sa ref kung magkano yung masasave mo by purchasing an inverter type refrigerator tapos kung magkano yung actual cost per minute, no? So also yung Meralco app will provide you uh, with the computation, no? So ilan ba yung kilowatt hours na nagagamit nito and yung related cost, no, involved. So that's one way on how Meralco supports, no, the initiative on sustainability reporting. Actually, it also helps, no, yung consumer in choosing what appliances to purchase, no? So especially ito na lang, napakainit dito sa atin, no? So meron kang option to choose between purchasing a inverter type AC o yung non-inverter. Obviously, mas mahal yung inverter type, no? Kung makikita mo dun sa promotion na rin ng department store or establishment, mas mahal yung inverter over non-inverter. But at the end of the day, mas makakatipid ka naman in terms of power consumption, no? Next, SM. So, specific SM malls will join the rest of the globe in celebrating Earth Day on April 22 with the theme Invest in Our Planet through their trash to cash recycling market and e-waste collection program. Ito pong class, maganda dito is while this is already happening in different SM malls, no, nationwide, they also partner with different barangays, no? So kung napapansin mo, um, yung mga ginagamit ng SM na mga platforms, no? So this is also being adopted in barangay levels, no? So paano 'yan? Yung mga water bottles, yung ayan gaya ng nasa picture yung mga cardboard, no? So they are being recycled and then placed, no, to different recycling markets, no? So therefore, customers and tenants are welcome to bring their recyclable rubbish to be exchanged for cash, no? So naalala ko, class, aside from this, in exchange for ito nga mga water bottles, nagbibigay sila ng teddy bear, no? Para meron ako naalala na one time na may ganong program si SM. So apart from trash to cash, SM already has an e-waste collection program where minor e-waste such as damaged or used electrical gadgets and wiring can be disposed of, no? So I'm not very familiar with this e-waste collection program, pero itong mga yung trash to cash recycling market, no? Ito nakikita ko talaga to in SM and also in nearby barangays, no? Especially yung mga surrounding barangays within the SM vicinity. Cebu Pacific, no? So Cebu Pacific new Ecoplane uses 35% less fuel per passenger than the company's current fleet. Cebu Pacific has purchased 27 fuel-efficient Airbus A321neo aircraft to reduce its carbon footprint. Ito naman, class, aside from Cebu Pacific's initiative, it's actually a uh, bigger, let's say, drive, no? Even yung manufacturer mismo nung mga airplanes, no? So, 'di ba meron tayo, we have Boeing and Airbus, no? So, in this case, yung Airbus, they have initiated, no, a more fuel efficient type of aircraft and therefore reducing the carbon footprint. Now, obviously, um, one way of Cebu Pacific's, sabihin na lang natin, initiative in order to to adapt to a more sustainable, no, alternatives for reducing carbon footprint. Ito nga, whenever they have to uh, change, no, yung mga aircraft nila, then they resorted to purchasing yung bago na A321neo aircraft, no? So as part of its fleet maintenance, the airline wants to retire older, less fuel efficient aircraft and replace them with newer, more fuel efficient aircraft, including the A321neo jets. So yeah, the Ecoplane's debut is the centerpiece of Cebu Pacific's One Effect Sustainable Tourism Initiative. Juan de la Cruz, a beloved national figure who represents the Filipino everyman, is the inspiration for Cebu Pacific's corporate tagline, Why Everyone Flies. So another aspect is the substitution of the sustainable alternatives for non-recyclable plastic spoons, forks, stirrers, and cups in-flight food on all domestic and international flights. No? So this is very true, class. No? Kung if you have flown well via Cebu Pacific before, they're still using yung mga plastic spoons. No? So but right now, it's made of wood na. No? So again, um, hindi pa rin yun yung ideal picture, no? But then it's sabihin natin better way, no? To make sure that they're now gearing towards sustainable alternatives. Next, we have San Miguel Corporation. No? Ito, si San Miguel, 'di ba, aside from making sure that they're in line, no, one with the government in terms of in terms of their infrastructure projects, no, they're also partnering, no, with different local entities. Ito nga, for example, with Pasig, no, and Tulian Rivers, San Miguel Brewery Incorporated is company based in San Miguel, Mexico. Ginebra San Miguel Incorporated and Petron Corporation have launched long-term unplanned upland and mangrove tree planting projects. Dito in Cavite, they also have partnered with um, local entity, no? So also in mangrove tree planting projects. No? So the initiative by San Miguel Global Power Holdings to plant 1.1 million trees is part of bigger program called 747 Project, which intends to plant at least 7 million trees across 4,000 hectares in at least 7 provinces. No? So that's where they got this 747 project. No? So 7 million trees across 4,000 hectares in at least 7 provinces. They have also launched long-term tree planting programs near their facilities and in other regions in need of rehabilitation. Holcim, no? So kung familiar kayo, Holcim, ito yung cement manufacturing, no? So back when I took the certified management accountant program, no? So Holcim, they sponsored their employees to take that program as well, no? So ang maganda doon, class, one of our, sabi natin, case activities at that time has to do with Holcim. Yun pala ang Holcim, even before SEC issued the memorandum making sustainability reporting mandatory in the Philippines, they have already embraced, no, sustainability reporting. So the construction industry is currently facing challenges because of rising fuel costs, as cement factories, which are mostly powered by fossil fuels, require coal to produce cement. So Holcim Philippines has been a solution provider to address the waste management challenge in the country by using qualified waste as alternative fuels and raw materials through co-processing for almost 2 decades. No? So co-processing technologies have proven sustainable and safe waste disposal solution and helps divert waste from landfills and bodies of water. The solar energy facility will provide 15% of the energy requirement of their plants in Bulacan and La Union and will be operational in 2024. So in 2021, Holcim introduced EcoPlanet. So it's a global line of green cement with a carbon footprint that is at least 30% lower while offering exceptional performance. So the goal of increasing its market presence by the end of 2022 to enable large-scale low carbon construction. So it has a lower carbon footprint by at least 30%. So imagine, class, no? Um, if it's actually 30% um, less compared dun sa current product nila, it actually accounts for a massive, no, research and development, no? So they have invested really in their R&D in order to come up with a product that is um, sabi dito, has a lower carbon footprint, no? So without sacrificing performance. So its smaller carbon footprint is further boosted by decarbonizing its manufacturing processes, which is aided by the use of alternative fuels. No? So this cement is also the world's first to contain 20% recycled construction and demolition debris, which um, drives the company's sustainability profile. No? So those are the 8 companies in the Philippines which embraced, no, fully embraced sustainability reporting. No? So isa-isa natin. So we have GCash, Shell Philippines, no? So with their new office in Taguig, Jollibee with the adoption of electronic bikes in delivering meals, no, in our residences. Meralco, so by making sure that we have alternative energies, no? So promoting also how to conserve energies. SM, ito na yung, then we have Cebu Pacific, San Miguel Corporation, and Holcim. Okay, so an overview of Philippine business sustainability. So over the past decade, general trend in the Philippine business sustainability has been focused on reducing environmental impact, especially among conglomerates and corporations whose operations entail large-scale manufacturing that may be harmful to natural resources. So kaya nga palagi, class, ang question is, 'di ba, pag especially in mining industry. So you can't actually be engaged in mining business without different approvals, no, from local authorities, local government units, and especially DNR. Kaya nga, 'di ba, uh, it's always parang a measure between the cost, no, and benefit of the mining in a particular area. So recently, startups and MSMEs have also begun making a conscious effort to practice business sustainability as strategies that can be adopted by smaller firms have emerged. So for instance, they have been focused on clean branding, a term that refers to business attempt to communicate to its customers that their business model is sustainable, be it in terms of procurement, selling, or branding. This can be achieved in several ways, such as ensuring products are ethically sourced, packed using recyclable and environmentally friendly materials, and having environmentally conscious business advocacies. Now, consumers in the Philippines are seemingly aware of such strategies, as recent statistics reflect that sustainability has become a criterion when deciding which businesses to patronize. As per an industry report, by data analytics firm Kantar, approximately 75% of Filipino consumers prefer brands that sell eco-friendly products to reduce harmful environmental impacts. No? So ito class, no? This is very good. Imagine 75% of the Filipino consumers prefer brands that sell eco-friendly products to reduce harmful environmental impacts. Anong ibig sabihin ito? 75% of the population clearly uh, has developed concerns to our environment, especially in the Philippines kasi class, no? So we are being hit with different typhoons, no? Yung mga weather conditions every year. Kaya it's really good to know that 75% of us clearly uh, is concerned about this whole environmental impacts, no? So ito na lang, no? So ang palagi ko sa example class yung breeze, no? Kasi 'di ba kung napansin niyo before uh, their though breeze, no? Talagang mahal siya compared to surf or champion, no? But then they have innovate their products in such a way that, well, right now they're saying that they have transformed it in such a way that it's no longer harmful to the environment. And obviously, kung maglalaba ka lang din naman at gusto mo talaga and 'di ba ang advertisement ni Breeze may bisa ng 10 kamay. So imagine that. Pero ngayon, aside from aside from um, making sure that their product is effective, na nakakalinis talaga. Ang sinasabi nila ngayon, yung ingredients that they have used, they have employed the service of or they have invested heavily in research and development. Ngayon, yung mga ingredients nga is uh, are no longer harmful to the environment. And obviously, if you're part of this 75%, dun ka na sa product na nakakalinis and at the same time won't uh, won't be harmful to the environment. Okay, sustainable development strategy. So given that business sustainability encompasses several areas, it should be noted that this can be achieved in an equally diverse number of ways. As such, it is important to consider how a proposed sustainable business strategy will integrate with general business goals and organizational values. No? Kaya palagi sinasabi class, during the planning or strategic planning pa lang ng entity, sustainable development strategy has to be implemented. No? So hindi siya product lang ng strategy. It's already been included no at the onset pa lang. So like for example, you would want to increase your revenue by X percentage. In order for you to be able to hit that goal, sustainability development strategies dapat kasama na siya no in making sure that you'll be able to hit the target no. So there are different ways in which sustainability can manifest in business operations. So number one, use of sustainable materials in manufacturing processes. So imagine na lang, you're in bag manufacturing. And obviously, in bag manufacturing, you would require yung mga textiles. No? So either yung mga textiles mo will be imported abroad, no? So ano yung mga ano yung mga possible entities that you would like to be you would like to have business with, no? So kaya nga diyan pumapasok class yung mga due diligence natin, no? So we check whether this supplier is in line with our goal, no? So baka naman tong si supplier A mas mababa ang price, and yet yung mga products na yung mga raw materials used to manufacture yung supplies are harmful to the environment naman compared to B. Mas mataas nga yung price, but it complies with different environmental standards, no? So yun yung mga um, check, no, or reviews that we have to employ, no? So obviously, in order for us to meet our targets, we would also need to uh, excuse me, we'd also need to evaluate yung mga suppliers natin, no? So obviously, if we go to supplier B, more cost, but less harmful, no, yung mga materials used for their textiles, then compared to supplier A na sige sabihin natin mas mababa nga ng konti yung cost to manufacture, but then all the raw materials used are harmful to the environment. Obviously, kung ganun yung pagpipilian natin, and we're inclined, no, especially in the Philippines, publicly listed entities are now um, required to do sustainability reporting, then we might be inclined to get supplier B. No? So kasi una, aside from um, it's already required, no? Nakita mo yung survey kanina, 75% of the Filipinos prefer brands that employ the use of less harmful materials, no? So mas nagiging environmentally aware na tayo, class, no? So dun tayo sa supplier B, no? Though tama, no? So mas mataas ang presyo niya, but then it will have long-term, no? Long-term impact in the environment kasi nga yung mga materials used are no longer harmful. Optimization of supply chains to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and environmental impact, no? So pag sinabi kasi nating optimization, dito pumapasok din class yung revisiting, no, of our of the whole value chain, no? So kung saan pwede natin ma-automate, or kung saan pwede natin ma-streamline pa yung production process in order for us in the long term ma-lessen yung costs to manufacture, no? So for example na lang class, you are sourcing out different materials, no? So sabihin natin abroad or locally. Obviously, if you source out materials abroad, then the cost to deliver it, the logistical cost will be higher, no? And then if you then find out that there are actually manufacturers, no? So sabihin na lang natin same quality, same standard, that you can actually source it out here in the Philippines, then yung logistical cost mo can be reduced, no? And ergo, it can also reduce carbon footprints, no? So reliance on renewable and alternative sources of energy to power facilities. Ito nga, may nakita ako advertisement, no? So, yung mga buses dito sa Metro Manila, they're now employing the use of green energy, no? Solar powered. At tapos nakalagay sa tagline sa bus tagline is it just makes sense. So imagine, napakainit nga naman dito sa Pilipinas, pero kokonti pa rin yung gumagamit ng solar panel, no? So may nakita ko bus gumagamit ng solar energy uh, to power, no, yung bus itself. So tapos nakalagay nga, it just makes sense. Ang galing ng class. Activation of community philanthropy to advocate issues related to sustainability, such as sponsoring educational funds for underprivileged youth, no? So when deciding the most opportune time to pivot to sustainable business practices, players should consider if the general business landscape is properly equipped to accommodate such transitions. So likewise, investors should also pay close attention as it may inform their decisions. So for the Philippines specifically, the retail industry has seen significant movement as business in sectors like food and beverage and personal care have increased their focus on sustainable business practices. No? Kaya nga class, di ba, one requirement, no, especially in your final paper. Ito class, no? So let's not complicate things, ha? Ang gusto ko lang naman makita dun sa final paper nyo towards the end of this course is to evaluate one publicly listed entity, no? So I'll give you an example. Yun na lang, Globe. Ayala Corporation, no? So pag Ayala Corporation, as you know, it's a conglomerate, no? So it has a number of businesses under the Ayala umbrella. So meron tayong Globe, GCash, ano pa, um, BPI is also part of the Ayala. No? So just choose one. No? So kung halimbawa GCash ang napili mo, then you have to evaluate how GCash embrace yung sustainability reporting. Then try to link it with GRI, no? So meron tayong GRI on environment, meron tayong GRI on energy, no? So just look at their sustainability reporting. Again, if it's publicly listed, then all of its reporting is published, no, in SEC or in its website, no? So punta mo yung website ni GCash, makikita mo dun yung um, financial reporting nila, and also their sustainability reporting. Then try to comment, no? Try to evaluate based on our previous discussions, uh, how GCash embrace itong sustainability reporting. And then try to recommend kung meron ka nakikitang uh, missing, no? So for example, uh, tingin mo hindi pa ganun ka develop yung reporting in one particular GRI, no? So yun yung gusto ko lang makita doon sa paper, no? Like I said, let's not complicate this. Let's just make sure that we have pick up, no, something from all our previous discussions, no? So in order for us to make a recommendation, yun yung pinaka-importante, yung recommendation natin to GCash, no? So for example, GCash ngayon napili mo, no? In order for them to um, reinforce more, no, on sustainability reporting. Okay, so considering these developments, all signs indicate that sustainable business will continue to be a focal point moving forward, be it for investors or the businesses themselves. Given that investing in green and sustainable technology will be essential for future adaptability, expect further adoption in the Philippines. So Land Bank awarded most sustainable company in the Philippines. So Land Bank, a government-owned company that has social mandate to boost rural development through credit assistance to farmers and fisher folk, among other services, won the climate change category for their progressive environmental policies and strong support for mitigation and adoption projects. No? So in 2013, they also extended over 4 billion pesos of loans to environmental and renewable energy projects, said the organizers. No? So they also stood out their inclusive business models, innovative programs, and also for improving the livelihood of local communities. So ito class ha. So this is an old article. Imagine this. the award was given in 2013, but this is still true, no? Especially during these days, during these times where uh, sustainability reporting is already mandatory. No? So at Land Bank, sustainability is a shared responsibility. Kaya nga sinasabi ko sa inyo class, this should be included, no, in the culture of the entity in order for us to progress. No? So it is embedded in our programs, work processes, product and services, and it also extends to our clients and partners. No? So how are they able to make sure that their clients and partners also embrace sustainability reporting? No? Um, Sabihin lang natin na probably they won't accept, no, projects if it's not in line with their goals. No? So Land Bank, which began operating sustainably in 2010, has several CSR initiatives such as Adopt a Watershed program, and the Manila Bay cleanup efforts has also produced a sustainability report for 2012 and 2013. Okay. So why is there a need for sustainability in the Philippines? No? So Philippines placed ito very recent lang in 2022, no? So 158 out of 180. So malayo pa yung kailangan natin, no? In terms of progress toward improving environmental health, protecting ecosystem vitality, and mitigating climate change, showing that sustainability in the Philippines has a long way to go. This is true. Kaya nga naman class, kung napapansin nyo, during the time of President Duterte, ang sinasabi niya, and I think it's now uh, materializing, no? So during that, right now naman with President Marcos, yung recent UN Assembly, no, class, yung meeting with the United Nations, no, they're trying to adopt, no, a policy whereby they're going to pull money and give it as assistance to those countries heavily impacted by climate change. No? Ito especially global warming. No? So, sino ba yung pinaka-heavily impacted? No? So, like the Philippines, for example, tayo yung nakakaranas ng maraming bagyo, mas malalakas na bagyo due to climate change. No? Ano ba yung usually um, naging cost ng global warming? Obviously, ito yung mga carbon footprints. Sino ba yung mga countries heavily contributing to carbon footprints? Di yung mga developed countries. So, US, Australia, Telex, Canada. So, and that's why during that particular meeting with the United Nations, ang proposal is to come up with the funds and help different countries heavily impacted by um, global warming. So Philippines is home to diverse ecosystems and natural resources including forests, coastal areas, and marine biodiversity. The resources provide essential ecological services such as water, filtration, carbon sequestration, and nutrient cycling. Protecting these resources is crucial for maintaining the country's ecological balance and mitigating the impacts of climate change. Yun lang nung also very recently pumunta ako ng Manila Bay, no? So napakalinis na compared before na maraming basura, no? But then on the other part of Manila Bay, ang ginagawa naman nila reclamation, no? So I'm not sure kung anong plan doon sa particular part na yon. Pero doon sa part na malapit sa Soler, tama ba? Soler, oo. Halos wala ng dagat. So, na-reclaim na, no? So, again, I'm not sure kung anong plan nila doon, but it's approved, no? Also with the local government, no, sa Pasay. So, on top of this, Philippines is currently ripe with infrastructure projects brought about by the government's Build, Build, Build program. This puts pressure on the country to build sustainability to help drive economic growth and job creation. Adopting sustainable building practices means embracing digital transformation while considering green approaches and technologies. So the need for sustainability in the Philippines is an aspiration shared with many other countries to improve the quality of life in their communities. That the Philippines has significant resources to protect, not just to propel its current economic growth, but to preserve the capacity to thrive for the future of its country and its citizens. Ito ko last na. So this is part of the sustainability reporting by the Aboitiz. So if you're not familiar with Aboitiz, they're in energy industry as well. So what are the sustainability issues in the Philippines? The country currently faces several issues which include pollution, deforestation, illegal mining and logging, unethical farming practices such as dynamite fishing, food and energy security, water scarcity, inequalities in resource distribution, and waste management concerns. No? So ito lang, no, different sustainability issues. These issues negatively impact sustainability in the Philippines and contribute to natural disasters such as landslides, coastal erosion, biodiversity loss, extinction, and climate change. So, in some parts of Europe class, ang nangyari ngayon is they put a cap, no? So in their carbon footprint, and now it's being traded, no? So anong ibig sabihin nun? So those entities which they still have cap, no? So for example na lang, I just give an example class, no? So sabihin na natin up to 10,000 kung ano man yung measure ng carbon footprint, no? So sabihin natin si company A only uses 2,000. So meron siyang 8,000 remaining that he can trade, no? Kasi kung si company B naman requires 8,000 more, no? So that's why it's being traded so that other companies can use it, no? So imagine kung company A has 10,000, company B has 10,000, but company B needs 10,000 more in order to support its operation. So, kailangan ni company B 20,000 X, no? Si company A uses only 2,000. No? So, meron siyang extra 2,000 that company A can trade. No? So, pwede niya ibenta yon. Now, si company B can purchase that 8,000 additional to uh, support its operation. And obviously, yung cap na yun will still be within the standard, no? So imagine, company A and B, it's still within their limits, no? Kahit sumobra pa si company B. Kasi nga, ang ginamit lang naman niya is yung sobra ni company A, no? So I hope you get what I mean, no? So that's how it's working, no, in some parts in Europe, no, especially in Switzerland. um, they're heavily focused on making sure that their carbon footprints is kept, no, at the minimum. So beyond the environmental issues, the country also faces societal concerns, no? So there's a need for safer spaces, inclusive and equal opportunities for people from all walks of life, justice, good governance, and upgraded infrastructure that will boost all of these aforementioned concerns. No? So people should feel empowered, have job and career options, and be happy in their homes as well as chosen industries. Oops. What can businesses do about sustainability issues in the Philippines? So common action points include adopting sustainable business practices such as minimizing waste, practicing ethical material sourcing, developing new sustainability strategies and initiatives that align with their core values and objectives, and engaging in advocacy and policy development. Ito nga lang class yung example natin kanina, no, sa practicing ethical material sourcing. So imagine if all entities resort to suppliers, no, that are aligned with their goals, no. So ito yung mga sourcing out raw materials that are not harmful to the environment. Then even other entities will um, follow suit, no. So parang hindi they will eventually um, follow those entities um, resorting to sourcing raw materials, no, that are not harmful to the environment, no. So kung lahat ganun ang gagawin, then it will have a domino effect, no. So additionally, by identifying areas of improvement and implementing new practices to support sustainable development, businesses in the Philippines can lend a helping hand in promoting a greener, safer, and more productive society. So how can businesses in the Philippines promote sustainable practices? So it is by engaging a meaningful dialogue with stakeholders and collaborating in implementing eco-friendly practices and emphasizing the importance of empowering people. Stakeholder engagement also gives us great opportunity to learn which issues impact our community